All right, what up, world? I go by the name of Hemingway. If you seeing this video, 9 times out of 10, you don't know who the hell I am. And that's a good thing. So, I am one of God's sons. I am a father, and I'm a musician. Now, I made this page in particular to separate my music endeavors from some of the real life shit that I want to talk about. And the past few hours, I spent some time trying to go over, trying to come up with a name. This page isn't a new page. I actually started a few years ago. It was going under a brand name that I had, and I decided to revamp it, switch it up, and I still have the same aim. I want to use it to express myself in a different way and not further confuse what I've been doing under my artist page in my YouTube. But I wanted to use this to just, like I said, talk about regular life shit, everyday shit, and honestly life after 30. So after trying to come up with a few names here after coming up with one name and then spending the last few hours really just digging, searching, seeing how many other pages there are with this name and stuff like that, I decided to settle on life after 30. My aim is to talk about obviously my life and stuff that I'm going through as a man, but with the name Life After 30, some stuff that I'm gonna talk about eventually will probably apply to men and women. So just be aware. If you are a woman coming across this video, 9 times out of 10 there's gonna be some very honest things I'm saying from the male perspective. Now, like I stated earlier, I've had a phase of confusion in my music brand and under my brand as an artist. And I realized that is also just confusion in my life, right? And the separation that I've created here is purposely so I can kind of get clarity on all that type of stuff. And right now, if you're reading the title, it's like, as far as life goes, right? This is life after 30 for me. And it's me versus my distractions versus my determination versus my discipline. And them 3 motherfuckers kicking my ass if I'm keeping this shit a being with you. Like right now. Now, I don't think I mentioned I am 33 years old as of the recording of this video. And this isn't exactly what I thought my life would look like. But if I'm being honest, which is the whole point of me creating this page or starting to actually post from this page, I don't know exactly where the fuck I'm going right now. You know, anybody who's a creative, you obviously know once you decide to really dive deep into your creative endeavors, it's like, all right, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do it. I'm going full fledged. I'm gonna win. I'm gonna eat. This is how I'm gonna survive. I'm gonna be an artist. I'm gonna be a creative. I'm gonna be, whatever. And for me, I'm obviously still doing that and following that dream and chasing that path. But I feel like I've been going through a bit of an identity crisis since really the last 3 or 4 years. The last 3 or 4 years, honestly, I've been getting over the hump and actually implementing things to really figure myself out and find myself as a man on this earth. But on this earth, I'm from the South, excuse me, as a man on this earth. And everything prior to, I'd say, 2019, that was, if I'm shooting straight, from 2016 or from the end of 2015 to 2019, I was in a relationship. But from 2015 and before, I was really just starting out with my music and trying to figure that shit out. And I had just got to a place around 2015 where I felt like, okay, I know who I am as a 24 going on 25-year-old. But then I ended up being in a relationship, and if any men have experienced this, or if any, most men could probably relate to what I'm about to say. But once you get in a relationship, it's almost like where I got to as a man, as far as trying to find myself at 24, it kind of got put on hold just because I didn't really get all the way across the hill, if that makes any sense. I was figuring myself out, knowing where I was trying to go. I kind of had a goal of like, all right, I'm 24. I moved from South Carolina to North Carolina, and I knew I wanted to go and focus on my music dreams in North Carolina. And my plan was, my whole plan up here was to go and focus on that. No girls, no women, no relationship, none of that. But what happened was, all the homies at this point in time ended up getting girlfriends, stuff like that. And this isn't to blame them at all. This is all my accountability. But I did start to look at it and be like, shit, well, maybe I do want a girl. Maybe it's time for me to, really, maybe I should try again. So ended up going down a rabbit hole, finding somebody, ended up in a relationship. A lot of lessons learned in that relationship. But the point I'm making by saying that is the progress I had made as an individual, it just kind of got put on pause. And me being who I am, when I am in a relationship, I was all in trying to really figure that out and make that work. And the type of relationship it just wasn't necessarily a smooth one. So it wasn't like it was something that I figured out how to balance with me chasing the dreams that I wanted to accomplish. So when the relationship ended, when the relationship ended around 2019, there was a little bit of back and forth after that, but I had to reignite the whole mission of trying to find myself again. And of course, at this point in time, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I'm 28, 29, something like that, and closer to 30. And now it's like I'm coming out of a relationship. I'm damn near 30, and I'm a father now. Before that, I wasn't. So I'm trying to figure all these things out, balance all these things. And the discipline I once had when I first started trying to accomplish my music dreams, the determination I once had, and even the distractions, they all just kind of start ganging up on me. You know what I'm saying? The discipline and the determination I had, it had dwindled a bit, and the distractions level went up. So it became a little harder to really do exactly what I was trying to do. And most of it was because I never really knew exactly what I need to do to get it accomplished in the first place. So just looking back in retrospect, like where I am now at 33 is not where the fuck I thought I was going to be at 33. It was like, not at all. I know I'm bouncing around a little bit in this video. This is my first one. I recited a little bit what I wanted to say, but every time I get on the mic, my brain just start kind of ping ponging and shit like that. But like, man, discipline is something that I'm having a hard time really locking back in with, on really doing what I need to do. I know that the determination is still there that I had since day one. It dwindled and it came back, stuff like that. But the discipline is hard to really get myself back into. And then like I said, the distractions of just life. Being a father isn't a distraction, but there's things that you have to do to where now it's a priority. So it's like, I got to do these certain things just to make sure shit's in order before I even do some of the other things I was doing before. And like, man, the main point of this video is like, I realize it ain't just me going through shit like that. Even if we remove the music being a goal for me personally, it ain't just me going through shit it ain't just me going through a phase that seems cloudy or unsure or almost like unknowing. I'm not alone in that shit. And as I talk to my homies, some family members, men at that, I realize it's not just me, but I have a bad habit of isolating myself. And I'm not here to necessarily tell all my business, but I am an open book for the most part. And some of the times that I feel the most honest, the most relieved, and the most probably the most clear I could ever feel is when I'm just speaking about what I'm going through with other people in real life, or in this type of setting, to where I can put it out and express myself and deliver a message or deliver my story to where somebody else can see it and possibly communicate with me and let me know, it's something that they're going through, or let me know, like, hey, shit, I've been there. Maybe they already been through it, And for the most part, man, it's like I'm trying to figure this shit out, dog. I'm trying to figure this life shit out. I actually had a video I watched earlier. I didn't, but the time I took to set up this page and get the name here tonight, I didn't really pull up the clip, so I don't have it loaded up. But it is a YouTube page called Express Yourself Black Man, and there was a clip earlier he posted on his Instagram just about how tough it is for black men in general to just go through everyday life, and us not having the society not allowing us the space to fuck up. And I do feel like, of course, that applies to men in general, but specifically to black men in the black community. I think similar to what he was saying, it's very, very much so evident that, like, the people in the black folks, man, like just us, our people, my people, you know what I'm saying? It's like they gonna pretty much tell you, like, hey boy, you too old for that shit. You know what I'm saying? This isn't even just a music thing, but just like, you should be old to be fucking up like that. You too old to be, you should know better. You know what I'm saying? You way past, like, you 30, you 31, you 33, like, you should be, why you still doing that? And as much as I've learned to, like, I understand that there's racism in the world. I do look at things through a racial lens, because that's just the reality of life. But I don't sit here and point at other races and be like, oh, they got it better than us just because they're another race. However, there are things that I notice because of the ways that other folks were kind of built up or brought up, or how their community was set up. Some of them they got leniency in certain areas that we don't. Now, let's be clear. Like I said, I feel like some of this shit just applies to men, period. So that's just what it is. But for other folks outside of the black community, it does seem like there's a little bit more space to be figuring shit out. And that would be more so from black folks. So somebody that could be black like me might see somebody else that's not and be like, but yeah, that's, you know what I'm saying? But like, they whatever, like, you know what I'm saying? They're not black. That's an Indian dude. That's an Asian dude, of course. So that's a white dude or whatever. And sometimes, man, it's like, hey, we don't have the luxury of fucking up. That's where I'm at right now in life. I'm at this point where I got people in my life who, obviously all out of love, all trying to look out, but subliminally, I could tell motherfuckers just like, hey bro, you gotta be figuring, you gotta get your shit right. You gotta figure your shit out. You know what I'm saying? Get to where you need to be. Why you keep switching shit up? Why you keep starting over? This, that, and the third. The answer is, I don't fucking know. I know the things I really want to accomplish in this life, and I think that I know the path to get there. But as we all know, you can have an idea and a plan, and that shit cannot work out. And depending on how you moving, if you ain't got God involved in your idea, your plan, more than likely it's not gonna work out. And even more importantly than that, just because you got a plan don't mean it's God's plan. So, like I said, I know I'm rambling a little bit. Some of this shit gonna get edited out. A buddy of mine last night just talking about, just faith and really trying to lean on God in moments of uncertainty. One thing I've seen multiple times this week is God is not the author of confusion. The devil is. So I've been at a space, like I said, the last 3 or 4 years. actually putting things into practice to change my life. The years prior to that, I have been learning and experiencing and going through shit that taught me lessons. In the last 4 years, for sure, 2019 was a turning point for me. But then, of course, as we all know, 2020 was hell for everybody. And from there on, I actually started implementing things and trying things that I knew were good habits or good methods or whatever to gain clarity in my life, reinstill discipline in my life, raise my determination, and to lower my distractions. But like everything else in life, when you're creating new habits, you're going to fall down and you got to get back up. And then you're going to fall down and then you got to get back up. And what a lot of people don't think about is when you're doing new shit, you're going to fuck up probably a bunch of times, but you're going to fuck up a number of times before that new thing is something that becomes the new standard. And a lot of people don't think about the fact that, like, yo, if I was doing A for a number of years, now I want to start doing B, it's going to take some time for me to get to B being my new A, if that makes sense. Like, okay, like I said, being an open book here, sex has been a part of my life since I was 12 years old. I'm 33 years old. That's 21 years. You know what I'm saying? It's a long ass time. And learning over the last 3 or 4 years that, hey, it's not all about getting bodies. It's not all about spending your time chasing women. It's actually good to be disciplined it's actually good to have sexual discipline. It's actually good to have dick discipline, as we call it nowadays. That shit takes time to go from being, that shit takes time from being something that I was doing a lot, being A, to now being B in my life. This shit just all takes time. And I have phases where I was like, all right, bet, I'm focused, I'm locked in, I ain't trying to even do nothing, I ain't trying to hit nothing, I ain't trying to chase nothing. I go a period of time, and then I end up going back down a rabbit hole, and end up, of course, life goes on, I interact, I meet people, I meet a woman, stuff like that. It is what it is. But now I'm at a point where it's like, okay, this is one of the things that is a distraction for me, a major distraction. And not even really the sex per se. I mentioned sex, but not even sex per se. It's just love for me more than anything. I'm one of the young dudes who, when I was, pre-30, love relationships, love. I love to if I have somebody I'm dealing with for a long period of time, I like to be around them. But like, if I meet somebody new, it's nothing for me to, like, if I like you, I like you. That's just what it is. If I like you and I want you, I like you and I want you. That's just how this shit work. But I realized that, like, that shit is not, that's not how it should naturally go, just off the fact of meeting somebody new. And when you actually got some shit that you're trying to accomplish, you have to identify what your bad habits are, and you have to learn how to really keep them shits in order. And like I said, I've crossed the threshold now to where I know I've been implementing the things, and I think I've finally got to the place to where I know exactly how to keep myself focused as possible and not get sidetracked by women, love, sex, comparison, confusion, cloudiness, uncertainty, to worry less. I know I've gotten to the place to where I know how to actually implement those things and do that shit now. Part of it, majority of it, is the most important part, is me actually just paying attention to God, listening to God, actually tapping in more into my faith. I'm just at a space where, like, I want to talk about it. I want to communicate with people that I know are going through the same shit I'm going through. I know it's a lot of dudes out here going through the same shit I'm going through. You tired of your old habits. You tired of fucking up. You tired of feeling like, you know what I'm saying, you ain't even got the space to fuck up. You probably similar to me in the aspect of like, if you, whether you fuck up or not, when you're trying to figure it out, you isolate yourself. That's something I'm also, you know, it's, like I said, it's a bad habit I got. I do think alone time is great, but isolation, obviously it's the same thing, but too much isolation is not good without community. I think you should have that alone time, and you should isolate to a degree when you have certain times and certain phases, but you should also have a community where you can get you know, tap in with somebody who's going through shit you're going through or been through what you've been through, and you could talk to them about it. So outside of God, church, friends, this is a space where, like I said, I ain't gonna sit here and tell every single detail of my business, but I do want to now communicate with other men and women, but specifically other men who are dealing with just the woes of life after 30. Like, that's just where I'm at with it, man. And like I said, once I'm gonna edit this video, I probably got some shit in here I probably got a couple points in here that's not even necessary, because I know I rambled a bit, but that's what this page is about, man. Life after 30. It ain't gonna always be this deep. Sometimes I'm, you know what I'm saying, have a little bit of fun. I'm gonna talk a little bit of shit, and I probably actually will be reviewing. I'll start having clips loaded up and videos loaded up to kind of review and talk about with relatable topics and shit that I come across on my timeline on social media and shit like that. But the main point of this is to be just, you know what I'm saying, express my honest self. I feel like I'm keeping shit bottled up and bottled, you know, just tucked away, and it's not doing me no good not talking about it. For one, me holding anything in ain't gonna be good for you. For two, not talking to anybody about it is just, you know, you never learn nothing if you don't talk to nobody about the shit you're going through, like I just said however many times in this video. But and like I said, I attempted to do something like this some years ago, but now I kind of know how I really want to approach it. And this one is the first one. I'm gonna, you know, chop out some shit, but I'm gonna leave it as raw as possible, and then going forward it's gonna be a little bit more strategic. But it's 1:03 a.m. I just wanted to really get this shit out the way and actually do it, and not just say I was gonna do it and then end up not keeping my word to myself. The whole aim is to be honest to people, be honest to my motherfucking self, and actually execute the shit that I want to talk about. You know what I'm saying? Actually execute the things that I am talking about. So if you see this video, you come across this page, man or woman, please make sure you subscribe. But to all the fellas out there, all the homies, if y'all watching, I'm definitely gonna be talking about some shit that I know for a fact we be going through. And you know, if you one of the guys who more or less got shit figured out, you know what I'm saying, that's great. And hopefully you could still follow, tap in, you know, drop some jewels, give some comments, whatever. But to the guys who feel like you lost than a motherfucker, I'm right there with you, dog. And it's like, obviously I know I want to live a healthy life, you know, a successful life. I want to make sure that I, you know, create experiences with my daughter and my family and shit like that. But at the end of the day, you still can feel like you don't know where the fuck you going. And every man don't feel like that, but I know it's a lot of us that do. That's it, man. That's what this video is about. I ain't even gonna ramble too much longer, because I know I'm gonna just get to reiterating the same points that I already talked about. But yeah, man, it's me versus these distractions, versus this lack of discipline, versus the, you know, the dwindling of my determination. And for me right now, man, this is life after 30. Like, this is like that. Sometimes it's like that, man. And I will say before I leave, just talking to my peoples yesterday, like, I do feel like as a man, life gets I was actually talking to some of my peoples yesterday and some of my peoples earlier. And as a man, you gotta identify, you have to find your identity as a person, just as an individual, and you also have to identify your purpose, right? But like I was talking to my peoples yesterday, more so on the faith tip, we all got the same purpose, and the purpose is to live a fruitful life. And you do that by being a servant of God, you know what I'm saying, living in the likeness of God the best that you can while we're here on this earth. That's essentially, at the bare minimum, that's our purpose. Now, the third thing is you really want to figure out what vehicle you could utilize to live out that purpose. I feel like that's most of the confusion that I feel like I've had. And I know if I've had it, a lot of other dudes have it as well. Especially like I'm into motivational content, self-help content, men's content, shit like that. I was into it a little bit earlier before a lot of the stuff that we see now post-pandemic. But you hear a lot of guys talking about how men need to find their purpose. We all got the same purpose, bro. Live your most fruitful life and just make sure you out here representing God in the best way possible and just being the best version of yourself on this earth. But while you're on this earth, you do have to find your identity as an individual. And with that identity, you got to figure out what vehicle you're going to ride out to really live out that purpose. At this point in time, I do believe that my vehicle is music and or creativity. It might not just be the music myself. It might not be being an artist or a rapper. It might be me creating in a different realm in the music. Could be me doing something else creative. But I think the creative realm is my vehicle, which is why I'm here making these videos. And like I said, I feel the most fulfilled when I actually talk about the shit I'm going through, and even more so when I relate to or when I motivate other men, other people, but for sure other men, because I know what men going through. Like I couldn't tell you outside of certain topics, I couldn't tell you exactly how it feels to be a woman because I'm not a woman. You know what I'm saying? I think we all feel weird when we get older and we trying to figure it out. We can all relate to that, but there's some areas I just can't relate to as a woman, but as a man, I be feeling that shit. So yeah, that's it, man. That's it. If I can give anybody any type of answer with this first video or any type of major clarity, as a man, if you come across this video, and this applies to women too, your purpose is just to be a good person and to live and represent God in the best way possible on this earth. But after that, you got to figure out who you are and how you gonna get to the end of the road doing that. So make sure y'all subscribe to this page. I do have an Instagram. Went on ahead. I had a brand Instagram. I went on ahead and switched the name up. So everything it's either gonna be YouTube, Life After 30, AFTR, and then my Instagram is Life After 30 AFTR. And if you want to follow me on Instagram, go ahead and follow me. But definitely, if you are big on YouTube, subscribe to this page. Make sure you follow me, and I'm gonna definitely have more videos coming on this page. The goal isn't for me to stop on my music page, but right now this is where I'm at, man. This is the type of shit I want to do, and I eventually will try to have some conversations with other people on this page at some point. But again, I go by the name of Hemingway. I hope y'all enjoyed what I talked about today. If you can relate to any of the shit I talked about, get down in the comments and talk to me, man. Holla at me. Until next time, I'm out.